Afternoon to all the participants and good afternoon to the speaker of the day, Engineer Sharif S. Fernandez, Managing Director of QCrete Readymix India Private Limited, who has consented to be the speaker today. And in fact, what has been planned is that we have planned for a series of talks every Saturday at 2 p.m. From 24th October to 28th November. So every Saturday at 2 p.m. you can block the dates, and the recording of this talk would also be available on the YouTube, which we will be sharing, as well as on the Facebook of Ramco Cements. And of course, this online version is also there live. So most of the professionals who are joining us can take advantage of this, and you can also address your, have your questions, queries regarding concrete, ready mix concrete clarified. And this is an opportunity for us to discuss on various aspects of RMC, site mixed concrete, various QA, QC measures and all that. So that is the reason why the talks have been spaced at sufficient intervals every Saturday 2 p.m. till 28 November, so that we get sufficient time to reflect upon this particular area. So that is the basic idea. So today we have Engineer Sharif S. Fernandez, who is the Managing Director of Messrs. QCrete Readymix India Private Limited. Of course, he is a graduate in Civil Engineering from MIT Manipal, Mysore University. He has also completed postgraduate program in concrete technology and construction from Institute of Concrete Technology, UK. He was associated with National Building Construction Corporation, NBCC, as all of us know, well-known PSU in the construction industry. He worked there as an executive engineer, and he was associated with Messrs. RMC Readymix as general manager. He has over 35 years of experience in construction, execution, and management of roads, bridges, residential buildings, cement, ready-mix concrete. So he has given about 200 lectures in various institutions, conferences in last 20 years. He is also a member of various professional bodies like Institution of Engineers, American Concrete Institute, Indian Concrete Institute. So we have a well-known speaker today. I am sure that many of you know him, as well as at least you would have associated with him when you were with QCrete Readymix as well as RMC Readymix, and he's a well-known person in the RMC industry. So just a brief overview of Ramco Cements. I will just would like to give. It's the flagship company of the Ramco Group, and in fact, what we have done is that, as all of us know, concrete is made for different structures in different ways based on the requirements and all that. So we have also thought that based on the specific requirements, different types of cement also should be manufactured. So that's why we have various types of cements that we are manufacturing, ranging from PPC, PSC, SRC, rapid hardening Portland cement. Of course, we have we have various expansion that has taken place. In fact, our Orissa grinding unit is already commissioned, and it is in it has started dispatching cement, and as well as our Kolaghat grinding unit in West Bengal has also started its thing. In fact, what we have done is that, as I was talking about the concept of right product for right application, we have these various brands of cement for various application. Like, say, for example, we have concrete with higher slump retention, concrete which needs a higher rate of gain of strength. So that is why you will find we have ordinary Portland cement 43, 53 grade. Infra is there for specifically for higher slump retention. Then Ramco Super Fast, of course, cement which is there for precast applications, the hollow block, the solid block, the precast panels. Then Portland Pozzolana cement, the super grade. The Supercrete is a cement which we have specifically introduced for concreting, because there was this feedback that why not PPC also have a higher rate of gain of strength along with low heat of hydration, and that was the reason why Supercrete was introduced. Then Ramco Superfine is there in the eastern part of the country, and Karthik Super Plus, again, which is a PPC cement. Portland Slag Cement, we have the Ramco Super Steel, Ramco Samudra, and sulfate resistant cement for specific applications where sulfates are in greater quantities. Of course, we have collaboration with various project customers ranging from L&T, Tata Housing, and of course our brand is approved in various metro projects. And in fact, having associated with number of construction companies, we have been able to understand the various requirements of concrete, and it has been a learning experience. When we talk about concrete, we always say that it is a continuous learning, because each and every time it's a challenge based on the site conditions, based on the requirement, and based on the structures. So of course we have the Ramco Research and Development Center where we do various studies under controlled conditions, so that we are able to help the customers in a condition where it is a lot of variables are there in the site condition. But we need to first of all understand what is happening in a research environment. So for that, with that objective, we have a Ramco Research and Development Center where we test various types of cement, various types of blending materials, and of course various concrete mix design using various kinds of admixtures. So that was a brief about the Ramco Cements, and in fact we had organized a series of webinars during the pandemic, and that is how you'll find that our YouTube channel is there, wherein you can find various topics on construction, ranging from say for example reinforcement detailing to concrete to blended cement. So I do not want to take much of your time. Let me just invite our speaker, Engineer Shalif Fernandez, to start off with the first series of talks. You can share your screen, sir, whenever you require. Now you can. You are being made the presenter. And thank you for joining us on a Saturday afternoon. I am sure that this is a time when most of us are free, at least, that afternoon time. And this is the apt time, wherein at least we can think about a very important component of construction. Over to you, sir, for your presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good afternoon, friends. Good afternoon, Anil. Thank you for a sweet introduction about this lecture series, which we are going to take place till November 28, every Saturdays. All our participants can get glued onto this webinars to find out, to get some informations which will be passed on to you. Thank you very much. So today my topic for the day is ready-mix concrete. Ready-mix concrete. And so today I'll be briefly describing about this ready-mix concrete, what is the market penetration, a brief about history of ready-mix concrete, and about international as well as Indian conditions. Then we have why we should use this ready-mix, actually, what are the advantages of using this ready-mix concrete. Then another most important thing is that, again, how to choose a ready-mix player before giving a good concrete or your concrete requirements, actually. Then also, most of the time we feel that the site engineers, because all these times we were going in for site mix concrete, then suddenly ready-mix has come. How to specify the ready-mix concrete, actually. This concrete specification which plays a very important role for even for both of us, actually, whether as a manufacturer or as a person at site, actually. So, or again, what are the precautions before taking the ready-mix at site? What are the precautions you should take for the concrete to receive this ready-mix concrete at site? And also, what are the issues faced by the consumers at ready-mix? And also the issues, also I will be discussing the issues faced by the ready-mix players at for running this industry, actually. So let's next 1 hour we'll be devoting for this one. I'll be running through the slides, I'll be talking on the subject, and then you can post your questions and I'll be answering the questions at the end of the session. So over to the slides, actually. Now, it's a historical background of RMC, actually. It is 1903. RMC was patented in Germany. So Germany was the first country which got the patented for producing ready-mix concrete. That's why we could see most of the equipments which is being used even in India are all basically manufactured at Germany, actually. Now, history is that in 1913, the first ready-mix concrete off-site and delivered to a construction site in Baltimore, USA. This is the first known where we had mixed the concrete and it has been delivered to a construction site. In 1926, transit mixer was first used, actually. In 1930, the first RMC plant was established in UK. And you can say that the first specification of RMC was published in USA in 1933. Now you can see a brief vintage concrete pump and transit mixers which were used during those times, actually. And from there, now recently you must have seen how our pumps are there and our transit mixers, which is now commonly moving up and down on our Indian roads, actually. So from from this stage to this stage, it has a lot of development has taken place in ready-mix industry. Now you can see this was the early, it was called tower RMC plant. All your aggregates, cement, everything was get loaded into this tower, and from there at the bottom you can see the trucks, transit mixers standing there, trying to load the concrete and taken to the sites actually. These are early transit mixers. This is the early transit mixers. Now we have this again one more type of transit mixers which were used in those days. Again, unloading the transit mixer. Now here is the drum itself has to be lifted for unloading the transit mixer. Now we have the screw system which generally helps us unloading and loading the transit mixer, both at plant as well as at site actually. So no need of lifting the transit mixer drum itself for unloading it actually. Now, a background about RMC from 1960 to 1980, there was a phenomenal growth of RMC. That is, in USA, they were around 31 million cubic meter was being done through ready-mix. Actually, USA had around 3,000, around 1990, around 3,700 plants utilizing 75% of the cement consumption actually. Right now, we can say around 6,000 RMC plants are using in USA, and most of the developed countries where we can say 85 to 90% of the cement consumed is being moved through for concrete is being moved through ready-mix concrete actually, whereas India has not come up to that stage actually. We are only a penetration level at 15% actually. So in RMC, we started the RMC plant in India. The first plant used in India was for major dam construction sites like Bakra, Nandal, Koyana. These were the first sites where we had used the ready-mix plant. The first standard on RMC was published in 1968 in India. And 1970, Indian construction firms experienced RMCs overseas in Middle East actually. And then 1976, the Indian standard on RMC revision 1 was come out. And 2003, we can have the Indian standard on RMC revision 2 was there in 2003 actually. Now you can see that 1979 RMC concept with pumped concrete was first applied at Tata Power Project Company, that is 500 megawatt unit in the Trombay project at Mumbai. This was the first known site where concrete was actually pumped to for the construction site actually. Now, RMC India, we can say the commercial plant first commercial plant was set up in US in Pune. You know, as you know that we have all this tax which gets levied onto the concrete. It was those days, it was very, very costly. And when it compared to site mix, people definitely go in for comparison and then found it very costly, and that couldn't move forward. And then that first commercial plant came to a close. Then again, it started in 1994. It was the first RMC plant was set up in Mumbai. Initially, it was dedicated for a project, but later on, it started with commercial operations actually. So from there, we moved on. From Mumbai, it was the first to start in the commercial sector actually. And today, we have several cities having ready-mix plants. Now you can see ready-mix concrete even in India in 2020. We are still in the infant stage actually. We are still in a toddling stage actually. So the market share, as if we consider the whole of India, the market share is around only 15% penetration in RMC. It has happened. Whereas in developed countries, it has gone up to 80% actually. So a very long way to go. And a lot of opportunities are there in this particular industry. If the construction professionals take it in a positive way, a lot of ways we have to go up actually. Now, ready-mix, I'll just briefly describe about the process actually. All this raw materials, after being checked, it's dumped into the bins actually. You can see the bins here. Then it gets loaded into the bins. On the top of the we have 4 different bins on the top of each plant actually, different with partitions there, 20 mm, 12 mm. Then we have the M sand, and then any other material to be used might be we can go in for copper slag. So there are 4 bins on the top, And then we had this water tank, which is pure water, which is can be tested water, is getting pumped into the pan mixers. Then we had mixers being used actually. Then we have the cement bulkers unloading cement into the silo, where we use this air compressor to pump the cement into the silos actually. And then this transit mixers, after coming back from the site, it is being washed on a slurry wash pit actually, where the water gets recycled, and that recycled water too goes into the at a space. There's a different tank kept actually, and what percentage to be added depending on the quality of water actually. It is being this water can be reused, and also even the aggregates, which is the way it comes, it is recycled, and then that can also be used actually. So this is a simple process which takes place. I'll just show you a video on how the concrete is produced in a concrete plant actually. So these are basically all the layout. You have the silos, you have the plant erected there. This is a production unit. This is the batch cabin where the production. Basically, here the cement is shown in bags, but most of the ready mix nowadays has upgraded, and they use cement bulkers to unload the cement, because it becomes manual operations when we take bags actually. So we want to eliminate all the manual operations. Now cement bulkers are available. So cement transfer takes place. It goes into this silo. It is fed into the silo. You can see here the silo is getting filled up with cement. Through the screw conveyor, we can show you the operation of the screw. The screw conveyor loads the cement into the cement hopper, or these admixture and water is being loaded into the pan mixers. These additive tanks, admixtures. It is loaded into the dispenser, and through that, by weight, it goes into the pan mixer. All materials are weighed by weight, and through weight only it goes into the pan mixer actually, as per the mixed design, as per the designed mixed concrete actually. So you can see here it is loaded into 4 different types of bins through JCBs. Through weight, the aggregates are weighed and taken onto the conveyor belt actually. It is weighed and it is shifted through conveyor belt. These are the weighing scales. Right? These are this weighs and then leaves that much as per the mixed design. So are all automatic. There are all load cells actually. There are load cells through which it weighs. And it goes into the hopper, and this hopper is where it is loaded onto the pan mixer actually. Now this is a pan mixer where all materials once goes inside. It's a vertical shaft mixer actually. And the finished product, we are getting onto the transit mixers. So you can see this a brief processes which is taking place for producing concrete in a concrete plant actually. Now, these are the screw. We can say that loading and unloading, discharging takes place through this screw conveyor. Whether it is in transit mixer, we can load the concrete, we can unload the concrete. This is the simple. This we all know that how it is work actually. And also even for screw is being used for loading cement into the cement hopper actually. Now, why we should use ready mix concrete actually? Now you can see the best part of is that the concrete materials are batched accurately and mixed efficiently, resulting in superior quality actually. Because we, depending on the type of aggregates, the materials are tested, and then a proper mix design is done at the concrete lab, and then that lab for each customer it is fed into the computers actually, microprocessor control, and through this the batcher, the production officer sits here. He controls he puts this one where each material is weighed and sent into the as you saw that all the materials are being weighed and sent for producing the concrete actually. And because of these mixers, what we are using, it is a high quality mixer where the pan mixer earlier in the mixer machine at site, you can see it is a drum moving. Now here we can see the blade rotates at a very high speed. Now here, not only cement, aggregate, admixture, we can do, if any finer materials has to be added, like for making higher grade concrete, we have to add microsilica or alcofine. That also gets mixed very well. So you get a superior batching results in a superior quality actually. Now it is faster speed of construction actually. We have different types of plants available in here. Mostly for commercial production, we have this 60 cubic meter per hour production capacity actually. But 60 cubic meter concrete can be produced in an hour actually. That is the capacity it says, but due to some constraints, we can go, we say that for 60 cubic meter, we can produce up to around 40 cubic meter, 36 to 40 cubic meter of concrete in an hour actually. So roughly 300 cubic meter can be produced in 10 hours during our, might be from, we start at 6 and we end at around 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock, we'll be producing around 300 cubic meter of concrete. So there is a moisture corrections is done accurately, hence water cement can be accurately controlled. So again, there is no manual additions. Everything is, even in the aggregates, nowadays we have this moisture meter actually, LNG moisture meter, where the aggregates, when it's falling itself, will find out what is the moisture in the aggregates, and that much water gets reduced from the water cement ratio, and hence you can get proper control in water cement ratio. Now you can see again it improves housekeeping at construction sites. Most of the construction site, whether it is small or big, actually, we very rarely find space for storing aggregate, cement, and due to which a lot of issues happens actually when again for doing the concreting on the day of concreting, neighboring issues will be there actually. So with the coming of ready mix concrete, actually everything is mixed at the plant and it is brought here. Only the pumping operation takes place at site. So you have to only have the space where to keep the pump, and all your steel reinforcement or your shuttering can be well stacked and your housekeeping improves actually. Now, material planning and its availability is of not a concern actually, because labor requirement reduced considerably. At site, actually, again, the site management need not have too much of headache for suppose a 100 cubic meter job is there or 200 cubic meter job is there. Earlier, we all used to go find out the labors, whether the labors are there in right numbers. Not too many of labors coming to the site. Again, it is not good for the construction when they move over the steel reinforcement. So all this headaches has been reduced actually. Only a few workers will be there on the top who will be used for pumping concrete and placing the concrete actually. Now we have chemical and mineral admixtures added accurately and properly dispersed in the concrete mix actually. So we need not too much worry. It is all automatically, it is weighed, it is a dispenser unit which is placed in the concrete plant actually, and it will accurately measure it and it goes into the concrete mix actually. again, most important, it is creates less environmental pollution. See, since all your ready mix is being placed at a location where it is an industry or it is approved by the pollution board, there only we can set up the ready mix plant, and all the pollution is restrained to that plant area actually, not at the site. So otherwise, what you see that every small nook and corner with if we are somebody standing with a mixer machine, there will be land aggregates coming and sand coming, and you can see nowadays we don't have natural sand also. So we have to bring the M sand unit, M sand there actually. You can see a lot of pollution happening in and around the neighborhood actually. So now that has been restrained with the coming of ready mix plant actually. Again, creates less nuisance to public at site on stacking of concrete material is avoided. As I told you earlier, only the finished product is coming there, which is wet, and hence it gets unloaded and without any pollution to any of the neighboring people, and less nuisance is created to all the public. Now again, helps encourage mechanism of new technologies like pump concrete, bulk cement transportation, self-compacting concrete. See, when the ready-mix plant has come into picture, the engineers can start now thinking of going in for high-grade, high-performance concrete, M60, M70, M80, and to some extent now we are even in India we have gone up to M100 concrete also. We can go think of self-compacting concrete. We can use different types of materials like we can go for fiber reinforced concrete, or we can go for additives like mineral admixtures like GGBS, fly ash, or microsilica. All these things we can think of once this is ready mix. And also it is new mechanism like the site people need to think of how the concrete to be pumped either through tower crane or through a stationary pump or boom pump. All these things, new technologies is emerging due to this coming of ready mix plant actually. Again, we had already experienced quality of formwork, scaffolding, and staging automatically improves. Like when we come to when ready mix is first opening to a particular area, we'll see that all the bamboos being used and pulleys being used for your formwork. But slowly, you can see the change over a period of time. People start changing over the steel shuttering, the scaffolding, staging, everything improves because people are now turning towards ready mix. When it turns towards ready mix, the older formworks will not work, system will not work. So they change it to the superior quality of formwork actually. Again, workability and cohesiveness of concrete mix improves to suit the pumpability requirement actually. This is what actually what we had seen. Otherwise, your concrete pump will not accept the concrete. It will choke. It will not pump. So to suit the pumpability requirements, automatically the ready mix player has to go in for a good workable and cohesive mix actually. Now again, improves quality of concrete, finish and durability improves with the coming of ready mix plants, ready mix concrete actually. So what are the checks needed for shortlisting of ready mix concrete supplier actually? This is a very important topic because now since this particular industry doesn't require too much of capexes are not required, we can see a lot of players coming into this one. Let's just like real estate industry, we see that anybody get into the real estate business actually. Now this business, it seems that it looks very lucrative. So people who doesn't have much of the concrete knowledge also gets into it. Sometimes we can see that even the aggregate production, aggregate industry, even though it is in a very raw state actually, people doesn't much understand to produce quality concrete, quality aggregates. They think it is easy for them to put ready mix concrete plant. That is what they feel, and then they jump into this particular industry. Later on, only they find that it is purely a technical material actually, which just by adding cement into their aggregates will not produce concrete actually. Concrete is basically a technical product, and the people behind it should be the technical expertise should be there to produce good quality concrete actually. So the consumers need to check before giving the concrete to a ready mix company actually. So what are the checks? I'll just look it down. Now, whether the ready mix company has their own quality management system. The first is what I feel is that all the consumers, before giving any concrete, whether it is 100 cubic meter or 15 cubic meter or their own, they can visit the concrete ready mix plant actually and find out whether the ready mix company has their own quality management system. Whether top management committed to quality of concrete, quality of production, quality of concrete produced, and their services actually. Whether the company is having a QC or BIS certifications, whether good qualified people are on board, particularly in the technical department, whether good qualified people are there on board. Before finalizing customer to visit the plant, it is a must actually. That's what I feel. As the company selected for any major projects, it may be a government or private actually, whether it has been selected actually. So these are some of the checks which also I'll be following it with some of the slides to find out for shortlisting the ready mix plant actually. Companies. When you visit the plant, you can see whether the company is having a full-fledged laboratory to check all the quality parameters, whether the raw material checking or the concrete at the hardened stage, whether it is being checked, all these parameters, whether sufficient equipments are available for checking, all these things they can check. Again, we can see ready mix, we see that most of the labs, we have this compressive testing machine, but nobody checks whether it is being properly calibrated or regularly calibrated actually through the ring calibrated NCCBM proving ring. That is, in every 6 months, it has to be calibrated and the certificate should be placed behind the this compressive testing machine. Whether these checks are, otherwise the results which is coming out of this compressive testing will vary. It can give very high results or it can give poor results also. So these are some of the checks which should be done. An accelerated curing tank, the facility, whether after doing a mixed design, and if the consumer wants the results in a day, that can also be done through this accelerated curing tank actually. Now, whether like standards like curing tank is placed inside the laboratory, basically to maintain the temperature, because the code says the cubes should be cured at 27 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade. So we have the temperature gauge is kept here to maintain whether the temperature is maintained there. We have an AC to do that one. There is a water heater also is placed inside this tank. If the water level temperature goes below 27 degrees, it automatically starts and heats the water actually. And if it is beyond that one, it gets cut off actually. So all these arrangements, whether it is being followed at this particular in this ready mix plants, has to be looked into by the consumers actually. Now all the equipments lab will conduct water, aggregate, cement, admixture tests, whether it is being followed, whether all these equipments are there at site in the plant. Then these are some of the concrete cube molds, then slump cones and how the slump is measured. Then we have temperature gauge to check the temperature of concrete. Now, most of the time now, as I told you earlier, the cutting, bringing the bags and unloading into the silos is a very tedious and again labor oriented. Now, most of the people are changing over to this bulker, cement bulkers. It is an airtight container, and through these air containers, it is through air compressor. The cement is pumped into the silos actually. So then there is no wastage. There it is less of pollution. Also doesn't take place much. And so these are the system which is being followed. Now all the aggregates, all the materials which are received in a ready mix plant, it is being weighed through a weighbridge, and in that weighbridge itself, the samples are collected by our quality peer person. He's standing there on the top of the tipper. He's collecting the samples, and these samples are being tested whether it is matching the original sample which the supplier had given to us actually. Now, if you see again, if you go to visit a ready mix plant, you'll see if it is proper upkeep. That is, does the organization ensure the upkeep and cleanliness are maintained in the plant? Whether the housekeeping is proper. If the housekeeping itself is not proper, then it is not an organized player actually. There itself, you can reject it. That particular plant, you need not take the concrete because the quality of concrete will not be in proper condition actually, proper quality actually. Now you can see here each size of the aggregate. Suppose it is a star bin type of ready mix where you can see the supplier has loaded aggregate sand up to the brim, and there is an intermixing taking place. There is intermixing taking place between the smaller aggregates, between the aggregates. This is a 12M aggregates, it's 20M aggregates. The intermixing is taking place itself. So what is the use of going for a mixed design when aggregates itself is getting mixed here actually, or sand and aggregates are getting mixed? So these are to be prevented. These are some of the things which can be checked. Just a general check. You can see some of the, see, basically you can see here all the aggregates are stored properly in proper bins. We can have, see, hard base is there, concrete hard base. This concrete hard base improves because it doesn't, no intermixing takes place with the soil beneath it actually. All the aggregates are stored properly, it is covered properly, so total moisture content control can be done, because even in monsoon also they can work without much of the moisture corrections to be done. So these are the things which has to be checked when you are mixing. Again, admixture, whether sometimes we see that admixtures are stored in open actually. It requires to be properly covered. Or some companies, they cover, they have the barrels where they load the admixtures, and it has to be properly covered on the top. There should not be too much of sunlight hitting the admixtures actually. But some places they can go in for the steel, this silo type containers where they store the admixtures actually. Now you can see are the blades, mixer blades in the central mixer in a good conditions. All regular maintenance, whether it is being done. What happens, even this also will affect the quality of concrete. It may be the company is very good, but if they are not doing a proper and regular maintenance, that will affect the quality of concrete. Now you can see here the central mixer maintenance, whether it is clean, after every job gets over, or every 15-20 minutes gap is available between one after loading one transit mixer to the next transit mixer, it has to be washed. The mixer has to be washed. Then there will not be any ingredient. As you know, that concrete sets. Once it sets, it becomes very difficult. It has to be chipped and taken it out actually. So proper washing, if it is done, if there is a gap of between 15 to 20 minutes between the vehicles, it has to be washed, and at the end of the day it has to be chipped of all the concrete particles which is stuck onto. So efficient cleaning is very much required to produce good quality concrete. Now even the transit mixers which is plying, if it is not properly maintained and cleaned properly, it will also give a segregation to your concrete actually. Now again, we can say the batching plant, whether it is being properly, whether the calibration is taking place regularly, every month for the aggregates, every week for the admixtures and cement and water. If proper calibration is being done, then we can say that the company is producing a good quality. Then as per the IS check, frequency is given there, whether they are following it up. Once they did it, they have to put it on the batch cabin when it has been done, all this calibration report. They can ask for the calibration report. As a consumer, you can ask when it has been last calibrated actually. If the company is regularly calibrating it, definitely you are going to get a good quality and correct quantity of concrete actually. Then why to use RMC actually? Then this one is why to use RMC. RMC, again, we can say wastage of concrete materials can be avoided. We are all experienced site mixed concrete actually. When we do site mixed concrete, we see a lot of aggregates, lot of cement, all this gets wastage actually. That can be avoided. We can go in for temperature control of concrete is easier in both and hot weather conditions. Both in hot and cold, we can go in for a temperature control of the concrete actually. So if you want to say that, you can specify your concrete saying that, okay, I want concrete at my site at 25 degrees centigrade actually. The operator or the concrete producer will work on it and give you a concrete which will give you 25 degrees at site. So these are things which the engineers can specify actually. Then facilities for use of new materials like fibers, microsilicas, or you can say GGBS, fly ash, all these things we can use to produce durable and quality concrete actually, or high performance concrete. Does the ready mix always assure you a quality of concrete actually? Does the ready mix RMC always assure you a quality of concrete. It is not necessary actually. It is here actually basically lot of factors actually. It is a good combination between the RMC producer and the engineers who receives the concrete at site actually. And what is the site condition? What type of concrete is to be ordered actually. So it all depends on all these factors to produce quality concrete at site actually. So I'll be just running through some of the things actually, like what checks are necessary, like specifying the concrete requirement correctly. That is one of the things which is most lacking actually. They first is that what strength or grade of concrete is required. That is most important. When you are ordering a concrete, it is to be very much specified what is the strength or grade of concrete is required. Then the next requirement is workability required at site, which most of the people forget actually. Allowing for there is a slump variations actually as per the IS code. 25 plus minus 25 plus minus variation is allowed depending on what type of slump is required. Suppose if you are a medium work, your reinforcement is a medium, this one, where then we can go in for a workability like 100 plus minus 25 you can order. So if the supplier is supplying it at 125 also, it is acceptable, or minus 25 also it is acceptable. That is 75 to 125 is acceptable. Now if a congested reinforcement is there at site, then the site engineer should think what workability is required actually. My 100 mm whether it will be sufficient to when it comes to the site. So depending on the congestions, depending on the type of reinforcement at site, you should look for the workability, specify the workability. Then durability requirements such as water cement ratio, minimum maximum cement contents, special additions. These are all things has to be very clearly specified when you are ordering for your concrete actually.
It's got stuck, is it?
Yeah,
you can click on the screen actually. You can click on the screen and then click on the next slide.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then specify your concrete requirements correctly again. That rate of gain of strength to suit the formwork removal actually. Again, depending on, suppose you are using a post pre-stressed concrete post, this one you require the strength to happen in 5 days time, for we have to do the stressing work actually. So you say that might be I require M25 concrete 25 newtons per mm in 5 days time actually. So according to that you have to put your requirement actually. Then temperature of concrete in extreme climates and massive concrete pours. Then rate of supply desired to match the placing and compacting speed. So these are some of the things actually. Suppose depending on that one, you have to specify and order for your concrete actually. Then type of finish required, lift and lead of concrete, transportation, placing at site. So as I told you earlier, again, you check the following: calibration of all measuring devices of an RMC plant, the reliability of plant for a consistent continuous concrete supply, quality and proportion of materials used, compliance of specification concrete, actually, specification of concrete. So as a from earlier I had told how to choose that one earlier from the customer side also, all these things measures to be checked actually. Then what are the checks needed prior to receipt of RMC at site? Now you can see reinforcement detailing at site. If the type of reinforcement which is shown on the PPT, and if you are going to order for an 100 mm slump, you will end up with such type of concrete actually. Again, you can see here. Then then what happens is that we start fighting each other at as an RMC player as well as the engineers at site, that concrete produced was not right and all those things, because the concrete specified is not correct actually. Here you can see this is a congested reinforcement. People should understand that one. It should go in for a higher workable concrete actually for all the concrete to be placed properly inside the formwork actually. Then adequacy of formwork to cater to the speed of supply and lift of placing actually. So depending on the type of formwork you had used and that what rate you require the concrete to be reaching your site, according to that you have to order for the concrete actually. Now staging plays a very important role. Most of the time what happens is that our engineers will go and inspect the site before doing the concrete work actually. And if the staging is not proper, it is not if it is not done properly, then we actually, most of the ready mix players, they withdraw. They know it doesn't do the concrete. If they do it, then we end up in such type of collapses which takes place actually. Then adequacy of placing equipments and manpower actually. So suppose you had placed, you had given a mass concrete pour is happening actually. We have all the boom pumps there actually. We have in a number of transit mixers feeding that one. All that thing is there. But if your number of workers for compacting and placing and finishing concrete is not sufficient, then there is no use of placing so many equipments and so many transit mixers to do the pour. So you have to have the equipment, the proper number of vibrators. You should have the proper manpower to match with the concrete which is being supplied actually. Like you can see some of the places when we go with our ready mix plant, the operator, the contractor may be having only 1 or 2 vibrators, and then what happens is that when we start the concreting, one vibrator is conked off, and after some time the next one also conked off. Then what happens is that ready mix concrete in the trucks is standing there for a number of the hours increases, and then after 3 hours or 3.5 hours it becomes if the contractor is not able to arrange suitable vibrators, due to which the concrete gets rejected actually. So the contractor should see that all the compacting, curing arrangements are put in place for sufficient number of should be there, so that such type of issues should not be faced for where the concrete has to be rejected actually due to this. Then what are the checks needed at site during the concreting? When the concreting happens, what are the checks required by the site engineers to be done actually? Now you can see before the start of the concrete any production, they can visit the plant to see whether that adequate materials are stored by the concrete, are stored by the ready mix player, or they have sufficient equipments, whether they have sufficient transit mixers or standby pumps are available to, if in case something happens to the pump is placed at the site, and if it gets conked off, any suitable pump is available, or all the materials are available in the plant to see that, to complete the job actually. Mainly it is for high when we are going in for bigger mass concrete work actually. Then we have this whether the concrete, when it is coming to site, as per the workability what you had specified, are you getting that workability? That is, suppose you had ordered 100 mm, as I told you earlier, 25 plus minus is there as per the IS code. We cannot say that exactly 100 mm workable concrete only should be given by the operator. There is a plus minus 25 is there from the play time where you are given the order. That is, if you are given an order for 100 mm workability, it can go vary from 75 to 125 actually. So for which there will not be any rejections actually. Then whether the concrete what is produced by the operator, whether it is cohesive or not, just by seeing that you can see entire workable concrete, it is covered with cement paste, and proper through slump is there, and the temperature of concrete also can be measured here and before pouring into the structure actually. Then regular supply of concrete is at site, whether we have whether sufficient transit mixer is there, and then whether all the transit mixer are coming one after another, and it is you are getting the regular concrete. It should match the speed of work at the site actually. Then if we have the standby equipments, we can ask, if it is a major pour, we can ask for a standby pump to be placed at site in ready position actually. And also you should check whether the standby equipment is working or not. Just by keeping it is not okay, because at that time, if the main pump gets under any maintenance, the standby equipment should work actually. Then monitor the speed and progress of placing, avoiding cold joints actually. So you know that the concrete, the placing plays a very important role. It should be designed in such a way that there should not be any cold joints. It should avoid the cold joints happening. Now, an incorrect placing then causes segregations. We can see it is falling onto the steel reinforcement and it is segregating steel. Even though you had made a very good concrete, but placing is not proper. If it is not planned, whatever good concrete you had made, it gets its segregation, because you can see all the fines are sticking on the steel reinforcement and only the coarser aggregates is falling down actually. So you can see here it is segregating more. It is falling on the steel reinforcement. It is now falling more onto the pedestal. It is segregating further actually. Now if you see, you can see at the end of the job, it is a motor coated steel reinforcement actually. It is not epoxy coated. It is motor coated reinforcement at a bad job actually. Now this is the incorrect placing will lead to honeycombs. It leads to honeycombs actually. So correct placing also plays a very important role. If you place it properly, you can see earlier, now we had the tremie pipe for deep foundations with funnel there, and then the same concrete, the chute, the trunk gets attached to the funnel, and then concrete goes below, and without much hitting onto the steel reinforcement, without segregation, it is getting it in a good concrete. A cohesive concrete is placed at the required location actually. So placing concrete at the closest possible location in its final resting place, that is more important. That is more important. So again, you can remove all by proper compactions. That's what you have to have sufficient vibrators at site to remove to do proper compaction. And then covering it with plastic sheets as you know that when we go for ready-mix concrete, it is different from site mix concrete. Site mix concrete rate of concreting is very low. We keep on finishing that one, so we are disturbing the cracks. So there will not be any cracks appearing on it. But for ready-mix, we finish the job in 2 hours and 3 hours time and we leave. We end up with shrinkage cracks actually. So best is to cover it with plastic sheet or start early curing actually by sprinkling water on it. So monitor speed and progress of placing concrete, avoiding cold joints. So now we come to the next part. It is problems faced by RMC operators. What are the problems RMC operators are facing? Now, as I compare this RMC player actually as an RMC commercial player, as a good human being, if it is a good RMC which is standard, following all the quality process and producing good quality concrete, you can be compared with a good, healthy human being actually. Like the first and foremost important is the sales that we consider. The air what we consume, or the oxygen the human being consume, is the sales. So we should have sufficient sales, sufficient order to survive actually. That is the first one. The second most important in a commercial operation is the blood circulation of the human being, is the blood circulation, or we say the cash flow. The most important thing is cash flow should be there to produce, or for human being also the blood flow should be there. The third and most important thing is the brain actually, that is the technical department or the quality system which is being maintained at the plant actually. That if system is working, then the RMC player is going to produce quality concrete actually. If you cut corners and say that some unqualified people are kept at the technical department, then the quality of concrete is a question mark actually. So I compare it with the brain, the technical department. That is the most important part is required for a human being. And the fourth most important is the heart actually. That is a production unit, the production officer who sits in the batch cabin and produces your concrete. That is compared with the heart actually. And then of course the digestive system, all the raw materials which should be checked, and a good mix design has to be made. We require quality aggregates, sand, cement, all these things comes as a this one. And then the fifth and sixth and seventh phase is the legs, which is compared to the transit mixers, and the hand is compared to the pump actually. So if all things has to function, a good healthy human being, if everything functions, it can be compared with a ready-mix, good ready-mix operator actually. Sometimes what happens is that they cut corners and they don't go in for a good quality engineer at the technical department. So, but ready-mix company will function, but it will be brain dead actually. So the consumer should understand which ready-mix player to be given the order actually. So problems faced by RMC market penetration is only 20%. Even at present, RMC in Kerala, what we say is ready-mix concrete is cheaper than SMC due to might be high labor cost actually. Consumers believes that ready-mix concrete can be used for construction of individual houses. Believes that RMC cannot be used for construction of individual houses. It's meant for big projects. Some contractors misleading about RMC to consumers with respect to quality, rate, materials used in plant actually. Now, consumers and owners are unaware when giving their workers as labor contractor. Most of the time in small construction for IHBs actually, they give labor contractor actually, and all the materials are being procured by the owner actually. And then they really don't know, they end up with higher cost per cubic meter actually, because the contractor is not bothered about the losses or the wastages which is happening at the site, because it is the owner who is procuring the material actually. And then and also without even looking at the loss which is happening, apple to apple, if it is compared also, ready mix comes to be cheaper than site mix concrete. Then delayed payment from client is another factor which is ready mix, which is affecting the ready mix plant. High capital cost of plants and equipments. Then RMC plants are only permitted in industrial zones actually. Then we have the stipulations of pollution control boards causing difficulty to obtain license for RMC. Then poor quality of roads and traffic congestions, which is might be even smaller lanes are there where our traffic transit mixers cannot enter. Inconsistent quality of concrete materials. Again, we can see, except for cement, all our aggregates are still in a cottage industry actually. So there we find it very difficult to get quality aggregates to produce quality concrete actually. Then workability retention in hot weather. Inadequate reinforcement layout, formwork, design hindering fast pacing and causing delays actually. There are, as I specifications are not properly told, the formwork is not upgraded up to the level to receive the concrete. These are some of the problems which we are facing. When placing, compacting speed is lower than the supply speed, resulting in delay and stiffening of concrete mix actually. Delays in supplies, inconsistent problems faced by, again, coming to problem faced by RMC consumers actually. There is a delays in supplies because what happens, RMC operators, they may be taking one or two or three jobs at a time, and then they will be managing the trucks. They cannot increase the number of trucks, and number of trucks they manage with the same. So in that way, sometimes what happens is a particular contractor will experience delay in supplies, inconsistent supplies, then awareness on ready-mix concrete actually. Then again, which ready-mix company to choose with respect to quality and service, cost details, IHB under assumption that SMC is cheaper than RMC. So these are some of the consumers' problem where we had come across. Now, let me see the future of RMC in concrete. That infrastructure development will give a great boost to RMC, especially in urban areas. Many strategic bodies like municipality authorities, government agencies, institutions will specify RMC. Now, most of the like PWDs are still, or PWDs or CPWDs or municipalities are still not put that the concrete to be taken through RMCs is not put in the tenders so far. It has to be specified. Then only the growth of RMC will take place in all cities and all villages and all urban and rural areas also. RMC plants will use fly ash, slag and other materials mainly to be price competitive actually. So I hope by 2030 in India, with all these precautions taken, with all these specifications coming in, different bodies taking up the statutory, this one to specify RMCs, we can see that RMC will be running up and down, whistling and doing concrete all over the place by 2030. Thanks to Anil Kumar Pillai, and thank you. I've come to the end of my lecture. Thanks to Anil Kumar Pillai and Ramco team for giving this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Shelly, for that wonderful presentation. In fact, it's always nice to visit fundamentals and at the same time look at the practical issues. You have combined both of them. You have taken us to the history of RMC, taken us to the fundamentals, and then at the same time brought every one of us to the practical realities of the problem, both from the consumer's perspective as well as from the manufacturer's perspective, which was a very objective way of looking at this. And I think that's a very nice way of looking at the industry itself. Yes. And to see, and very important thing is that which you have mentioned is about the specification of concrete, which many of the places, they do not do. They may only confine themselves to the grade of concrete, and that's it. They don't go beyond that. I think that's a very important point that many of them should be looking at it. A couple of questions. Can we take it?
Yes, no problem.
Yeah, one question which has come about is from Calcutta.
Yes.
Slump retention is issue for RMC suppliers. Can high admixture content over 1% is advisable? I think this would also be covered in the subsequent lectures, I believe, but still
yes, it will be covered in detail in the subsequent lectures. But mostly you can go in for a PC-based admixtures actually. In that case, it can be done. PC-based admixtures, now we have higher higher quality of aggregates available. Now we had naphtha-based which is being used, which is restricted from 1.8 to 1.2. It cannot go beyond that one actually. Mostly it cannot go above 1%. In that case, we can go with the PC-based admixtures actually, where it starts with the 0.4 to 0.5 admixtures, depending on the mixed designs, what we can do. It will be a little costly, that aggregate, that particular this one, but definitely this retention issue can be sorted out at site actually by going for PC-based admixtures actually.
I think wherever retention is a challenge, I think they should go in for such kind of measures so that retention is taken care of.
Yes.
Another question is that what is the maximum advisable distance or hours the transit mixtures can carry concrete to customer points? The usual questions that we get, no?
Yeah. It is basically the concrete mix is planned for basically 3.5 hours to max 4 hours actually. So depending on the type, the cities where you're functioning, suppose if you are in a Mumbai city, you know how congested the traffic is actually. So you can gauge how much distance it can go. Suppose if in a city where not much traffic is there, then the roads are good, and then you say that you can go up to 40 kilometers or 50 kilometers. You can reach within this time parameters. Basically, what you have to see is that from the batching till that thing is delivery, your time is only 3.5 to 4 hours actually. So that is the most important thing. So in that time, you have to gauge whether your roads are good, traffic conditions. Suppose if it is a night, no traffic is there. Definitely the kilometer you can increase, might be 60 kilometers you go. But within these parameters, if it goes there should not be any issue because this has been designed for that particular concrete is designed for this many hours actually. So depending on the distance, the workability, the slump, everything has to be designed accordingly actually. So and the time when it has to take the concrete.
I think most important is the time and the planning that has to be.
Yes. Time and planning.
At times it is observed high temperature in concrete makes the concrete harsh. Can addition of cool water or is there any other method to address the issue?
Yeah, we have actually basically in ready mix plant, it is better than site mix because site mix there is no control on the water because water is might be on the water anti-height tank and nobody's measuring it also. But in plant, we can definitely reduce the temperature of water actually. Even we can sprinkle water on the aggregates during the summer. We can sprinkle water on the aggregates to bring down the temperature of aggregates. Even the water, ice flakes, not ice blocks. Ice flakes can be chip flakes can be put into the water tank, and the water can be temperature can be reduced. Now we have chiller plants available in the plants. Most of the plants we have chiller plants to reduce the temperature of the water and produce the concrete at a particular temperature actually. So it all depends on what the consumer wants actually. Accordingly, the operator can design it accordingly.
How water loss in concrete, which reduces the flow, can be addressed practically at site?
Water loss at site.
Water loss in concrete, I think probably he's talking about the shrinkage.
Sorry.
Yeah, or curing, I don't know.
Or is it curing? That is basically when we do concrete, there's a difference between when we do site mix concrete and ready mix concrete. Site mix concrete, suppose a 30 cubic meter from morning till evening, we are doing the concrete. And if it's a very cohesive mix, what happens is that the mason's rate of loading is very low. So the mason has a lot of time to keep on finishing actually. So this small shrinkage cracks which appears, it gets retamped and the finishing goes. So most of the time in the site mix concrete, people complain there is no cracks happening. But whereas the same 30 cubic meter gets finished in 2 hours time, and once the mason finishes, he thinks that his job is over and goes off. Everybody goes. And then what happened? Next day morning only they'll come back to start, put the buns, and then by the time shrinkage cracks must have appeared actually. They should go in for retamping. They should, best is what I have seen, the result is to cover it with plastic sheet actually. As soon as the work is get finished, you cover it with plastic sheet. And then even if you come next day and then lift the plastic sheet, pour water under it, you will not find any cracks in that one. Another best thing is that, or start early curing actually. After retapping work is done, you do the early curing. When you see you put your thumb on the concrete, and if there is no impression coming on that concrete surface, you can start the early curing actually. You can sprinkle water. Most of the consumers feel that curing should be done next day actually. That is a wrong concept actually. Even in slabs, what happened? Suppose we are done concrete in the evening and it gets finished by 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock and people go home. What happened in the evening also, hot wind is blowing over our slab. And then what happens, due to which the top portion gets dried up faster than the bottom portion actually. And due to which there is as when we burn a newspaper, you can see the curling effect. The same curling effect takes place in the slab. And this curling effect brings you the shrinkage cracks. And this shrinkage cracks is not structurally harmful, but it can go deep down. If it is not taken care, it can go deep down, and then it can cause leakage also to the slab actually. So initially for ready mix concrete, we always say that the first 3 hours after the finishing is very important. Very important. I have to cover it with plastic sheet or start initial curing. Next day curing is for the strength of the concrete, not for shrinkage crack. Shrinkage crack will appear from 1 hour to 3 hours or 3.5 hours. After that, if it is not taken care, it will go deep down actually, throughout the slab actually. So first 3 hours, when you are using ready mix, people should not think that after 2 hours the work is over, everybody goes home, and then next day you come back and then you'll start complaining the operator that ready mix manufacturer that you had supplied concrete with crack. That is not the thing actually. It is a site-oriented work with most of the engineers should come to terms that you are not using site mix concrete, you are using ready mix concrete. So ready mix concrete, these are the precautions to be taken before going home. All these things has to be done. Then only your quality concrete. It is quality concrete. We are also interested. The people who are taking the concrete should also be interested. So it is a both way. This one where we can produce good concrete. Yes.
I think that is well explained. In fact, one of the participants has asked for your contact details. If you can share your email ID, yes, we will share your email ID with him.
Okay, no problem, sir.
RMC mixture may be combination of fly ash and GGB. The question that is yes. He's asking whether RMC mixture can be a combination of both the blending materials.
Yes, it can be. It can be. Now it is a trinary blend. What we say, it's a trinary blend actually. And definitely part of the GGBS can be replaced with fly ash actually. So cement, GGBS, fly ash, we can do it actually. Might be when we go in for a high grade, suppose high performance concrete actually, M50 or M60 and above, we go with might be Alcofine nowadays. Alcofine we are going. So OPC, fly ash, Alcofine. So what is Alcofine? Alcofine is a finer powder particles of GGBS only. Yeah. So again, it is a trinary blend we are doing actually. So all methods can be tried actually, whether it is fly ash, GGBS, OPC, or we can go in for a GGBS, microsilica. So these are all trinary blends which is now being used for producing high performance concrete actually, can be done.
Yeah. In fact, even cement also, there is a composite cement which is being introduced where both fly ash and GGBS can be used.
Yes, it is there. It is code also.
Code is also there.
Yes, code is also there to give that one actually. Yes.
Another question is that already you have covered the answer to this. There is a general perception that cracks are more in RMC concrete than site mixed concrete. Why is it so? You have already covered in your presentation also.
Yes, it is. Yes,
yeah.
It is there. So
then another thing is that you
yes.
want to
carry on.
And another thing is that redosing of admixture happens at site often. Is it okay to add admixture at site as we are already adding admixture at batching plant? What is the permissible limit of admixture to be added?
Yeah, it is. See, what happens is that there are certain conditions it is permitted, even courts permits us to add redose it at site. It is not water to be added. It is a specific water along with the admixture to be added into the transit mixer. This is basically when due to this might be there some delay happened on the road while concrete is being carried, or at site condition when due to might be some choking of pump, the truck has to be retained. Then you see that the workability is not up to the mark, up to the ordered quantity actually. So you can go with the redosing of the admixture depending on how much dosage we had added at plant. So generally 0.7, 0.8 it is added. We can go up to 1.2 if it is an after-based actually. So all within that specified this one, the manufacturer and the engineer can consult and go in for a redosing of the concrete actually at site.
There is no harm as long as the upper limit is not breached.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Another question, sir, it is from the consumer's perspective. He has asked, I have used M20 grade OPC plus fly ash concrete for flooring in one of my warehouses. After completion of curing period, dust starts to come from the hardened concrete. Why dusting happens as I don't get proper reply from the supplier till date?
It is basically what happens is the finer when we put it on a floor and then we grind it actually properly. Floater is being used. So what happens is that all the fines starts coming onto the top actually. Basically, the water also is removed. Excess water also is removed actually. Generally, with fly ash and OPC, such type of dusting complaints we are not seen actually. Whenever we had used GGBS and cement combination, there were some dusting issues which has happened actually. There are certain things precautions which can be taken. At present, I don't have, but we can send me the email ID and the participant who has sent. I'll give a proper reply why it has happened and what is the precautions to be taken for such type of complaint actually.
I think we can cover it in the subsequent sessions also because we have sessions till number 28.
Yes, definitely.
We can.
No issue.
And another thing is that for durability purpose, I think this is a very tricky question. For durability purpose, which is good, fly ash or GGBS?
Basically, right now I'll put GGBS is better than fly ash actually. With all the coastal areas actually, we have this chloride. Even both can be competing, but little upper edge we can give it for GGBS actually, whether it is sulfate conditions or chloride conditions. This GGBS mixing with cement gives a better concrete in coastal environment actually, depending on where it is being used. Mostly in coastal environment and aggressive environment or chloride environment or sulfate is there, we can go with GGBS actually. Other places, fly ash also is equally important. So what I always place it in this way, that is, the first comes the GGBS OPC combination, the second is OPC fly ash combination, and third comes the OPC. And for chloride environment, of course, silica, this one.
Silica fume.
Not silica fumes. Where we tricalcium aluminate is.
Aluminate, is lesser.
Lesser actually.
That is SRC cement.
SRC cement comes the last.
Yes.
That is for the chloride environment. These are the. Suppose if only silica is sulfates is there in some environment, then we should go in for this the cement also, that is sulfate resistant cement actually. But for chloride environment, I usually suggest that we should go in for GGBS OPC. Second comes OPC fly ash, and the third only OPC, and fourth only our cement with sulfate resistant cement actually. So that is the order actually. That's the order.
Because sulfate resistant cement is weak in resisting chlorides.
Yes, very weak, and we have in chloride environment, if we have 10,000 parts per million chlorides is there,
correct,
and only 100 parts per million sulfate is there. For 100 parts per million sulfates, we go for this sulfate resistant cement. Then all the chlorides will get into your concrete and spoil your concrete actually.
I think one more last question: can recycled waste can be used in concrete?
Yes, it can be used. It can be used. Actually, already there is a code which is coming up, and in Delhi we have a lot of recycling plants which has already come up actually, and there is a specification from the Bureau of Indian Standards which is coming up actually, how to use that recycled material, what is the strength and where to use. All this are being designed, and definitely we should go in for recycling, because now we can see there's a scarcity of materials which is going to happen in future actually. So right now itself, any buildings getting demolished, it has to be properly taken to the recycling plant. It has to be recycled in proper way, which we can use it actually for.
So thank you so much. I think we have covered a lot of questions, and there was a good response from the participants also. I'm sure that this kind of participation would be there for the next sessions which we are having during the next Saturdays. In fact, next Saturday we have 24th November. Today we had on ready mix concrete, and it was a very good session. And next 31st October we have a talk by Engineer Kaushika VR, who is again the director of Qcrete ready mix concrete, and he would be dealing more with QA QC in ready mix concrete. So we would be meeting next week again at 2 p.m. The same time. Thank you so much, Engineer Shelly Fernandez, for giving such a very interesting talk, wherein you have taken the questions and you have explained in detail, and I'm sure that this would be useful for all the construction professionals, especially to address those challenges which they face at site. Because what we have seen is that the same kind of challenges is being repeated, and there are many professionals who are able to overcome them. But there are limitations in certain cases, because of we do not know, because of the resource constraints, or maybe because of lot of constraints. But as you rightly said, the moment we start spreading this knowledge, I think a lot of problems can be addressed. Yeah, improvements can be there. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you all the participants for spending your time with us. And we are sure that this talk would have been useful. And please share your feedback with us, and any suggestions that you would like to give us, please feel free to interact with us. Thank you so much. Anything that you would like to add, Engineer Shelly Fernandez?
No, thank you very much. Good platform. Thank you very much. We'll keep doing it, or at least it is all ready-mix operator, ready-mix users can get benefit actually out of it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. So we sign off from the event. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.